All right, Frank Talk continues. We are focusing on the state of education in KZN with the MEC of Education out in KZN tonight, who's visiting us here at Newsroom Africa. Carmen Reddy standing by there with what's happening on social media. Over to you, Carmen. What's happening there?
Thank you, JJ. Well, let's take a look at some of the messages that we got on WhatsApp this evening. The first one coming in from Sammy from Pretoria saying, how come an MEC can afford to rent a car which costs 90,000 Rand a month in this economic situation? And in your voice, JJ, it is bad, JJ. So let's take a look at another message. Evidence here saying, please ask Mr. Mshengu if KZN has considered conducting a feasibility to mitigate these natural disaster challenges in countries such as Japan with high disaster rates, to be able to be resilient infrastructure, acquire technology and develop skills that's able to rebuild damaged structures in short periods. Of course, not a country that this happens often, so a lot of resources to put into that. Nkubeko here saying on Twitter, please ask Mr. Mshengu what his department is doing about learners with special needs. My brother has been waiting for his school for about 2 years now, and of course, it's a common problem that we have, JJ, with kids with special needs. So quite an important question there. For now, it's back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Carmen. What is this 90,000 a month, Carmen? Eh?
Well,
everything. I'm told it's a big Sunday Times front page special. What is it about?
Well, it was a big story.
Yeah.
I've responded to it comprehensively, JJ.
Just summarize for me.
To say, first and foremost, I derived no personal benefits from the amount set. There's no amount that went to the personal account of the Mshengu family.
Okay.
So that's why I'm saying I derived no personal benefit.
But did you know about it?
When I came to the department, I was told, firstly, the very second day after I was appointed, I was hired a car by the department because the previous MEC, as would know that in terms of the regulations, they are given a particular period to
return the car.
And all of that. So they had to hire a car so that I continued doing well. And when the car was returned back, I was then advised that the car is not roadworthy, and it is not advisable for me to use it until it is attended to. And I did not, I could not ignore that advice, because had I ignored it and something happened, it was going to be tantamount to me voluntarily walking into a grave, and people say, we advised you not to use that car because it was not roadworthy. So I then said to the department, look, I own a car, and in terms of the ministerial handbook, I can use my own car and claim from the department.
I see.
And then they said, but your car has a larger engine capacity, and it's going to cost the department more than hiring off a car. And when we're doing calculations, JJ, it came out that, in September, I traveled about 8,000 kilometers a month. KZN is huge. And if I was using my car, I would have claimed 153,000 from the department. And that money was going to Mshengu's family account if I used my car. So it became an issue. That's how it became an issue. Because the department said, no, it's better to use a car. What I concede to JJ was that it took so long for a department basically to finalize the issue of the car that is owned by the department. Like, people are saying that we are faking the mechanical problems of that car. I can tell you, JJ, today...
so how long did it take? I mean, you have been in office now for close to 200 days.
Yeah.
How long does it take to go to a government garage and get you another car?
The problem, you could not buy another car because you only buy a new car if the one that the existing one has reached about 120 kilometers a month or is about 5 years old. But the one that is with the department currently is about 40,000, if I'm not mistaken. But the issue are mechanical challenges, as I was told.
So they should just sell it?
It's not as simple as that, because we needed...
Why is it not simple? It's not working for you.
we needed the final report from Mercedes-Benz. I can tell you, JJ, that today we received an email from the dealership saying that they still need to do more of the diagnostic report of the car or an assessment, and they offered me a courtesy car. Now, which basically proves that the story that we faked the mechanic problem of a car.
It's not true.
It's not true, because Mercedes-Benz would not have said, at least let's offer you a courtesy car while we do more testing.
But you agree with me, it's something you need to clamp on very quickly, because These are the things that happen where, you know, ministers are put up in hotels. I mean, we had a minister, I think it was a minister of communication a few years ago, who did not move into a ministerial home because there was no bed. Can you believe it? I mean, you could have just dial a bed, they deliver a bed overnight, and then he can claim that, in fact, he can do it with his own money.
No, I concede to that, JJ, that probably one should have been more involved in saying, pushing HOD. What is
because
it?
Now it's going to distract us. It's eating into our time to talk about education now. We're talking about your car.
Indeed.
And unfortunately here, yes, you know, there are no holy cows. And people raise this. So could you promise me when will this be sorted? So that people can know, then they can rest easy.
We are now really dependent on the final report from the dealership. We're hoping that we get it by the end of this week.
Okay.
Now they've offered us a courtesy car. I don't know when, but probably next week we should be able to get the final report. And then we then close this matter, JJ.
All right. Wishing you well in sorting that out. Let's talk about another question that was asked by a caller about special needs. And he says that the brother or our cousin has been waiting for 2 years for a school of special needs. What's the situation?
Well, JJ, the learners with special needs, or let me just say, you know, in society, people with disability are treated as a charity case. It's like we must feel pity for them when we do things like we're donating and all of those things. And that, unfortunately, has been the case in the department. But now we have said, JJ, the issue of learners with special needs is going to take a center stage in the department. Because they deserve to be treated like all other learners.
Absolutely.
We must give what is due to them. Today, JJ, we were handing over 8 buses that are specifically adapted for learners with special needs.
For special needs.
Yes, and we're in a process of procuring another 15 buses. Because we don't want our learners with special needs to be disrupted in the process. We also handed over the Braille textbooks, so that those who cannot see are able to also study with ease. In the province, we are also in the process of building a school of autism. As part of ensuring that we really move away from the mentality of treating our learners with special needs as charity kids.
Absolutely.
They must continue to be, they must be developed in a manner that they can also access equal opportunities like those who think they are able.
Sounds like a plan. Okay, Nurugen in KZN. Good evening.
Good evening, JJ.
Evening to you. Go for it, Nurugen.
I would like to ask the minister.
Yes.
The future of a nation lies in the minds of our children. If you look at education in South Africa, it is retrogressing progressively. Are we for providing children with formal schooling, or are we educating children? Mark Twain said, don't let your formal schooling damage your education. Secondly, a fish does not rot from the tail, it rots from the head. Is our education system providing our children with true quality education? Are we teaching our children only to learn for an exam, or are we teaching them to become thinkers? I think that is a priority. We need to look at the quality of education. And do we have qualified personnel to impart that knowledge to children? Do teachers know how to identify potential? That is the question.
All right. Thank you very much. Again, it's linked to what I wanted to ask you now, to say quality of our teachers, and he's raising that issue. Do we have quality educators? What is your assessment of the state of the teaching profession in KZN?
Let me start by saying, JJ, our education system should not just be about studying towards an examination and then you memorize, you pass, and then you think we are fine. It should be able to build a set of competencies and skills that will allow each and every learner to develop for a lifelong learning and explore and take advantage of opportunities post-schooling. So that is our focus. That is why we have even said, look, we're not a department that will just build schools, walls and say, this is a school. Our schools should be compatible to give this set of skills and competencies. All the schools that we're going to build now, JJ, I have said all the schools, this new school that we must build must have a library, must have a computer, a media room, must have a laboratory, must have all these necessary things that we need to develop these sets of skills for our learners. So it's part of ensuring that it's no longer about an education where you just memorize and pass an exam, then you think we are fine. And so far as the standard of teachers is concerned, there are quality teachers, JJ.
Yes.
And we are proud of them. But there are also those who are not so deserving to be in the profession, if I may say so.
Yeah.
Those are the teachers who will go to school and see girlfriends instead of learners. Those are the teachers who will...
Terrible situation.
Terrible situation. Those are the teachers who will not go to school, who will leave school before the school knocks off and all of those things. So those are the teachers who don't deserve to be in the profession. But having said that...
But if you dealt with them, because this thing of teachers who misbehave, it seems like it now become a slogan. Even in the recent thing at the SADC conference, you heard the president talking about it. But just 2 years ago, Minister Motsoaledi at that time issued a report of horrific statistics of learners who are impregnated by teachers. If you fired some people,
we are coming down very hard on them, JJ, and we have made it clear, even to unions, to say when we deal with these pedophiles, don't come and say no. These are our members. Let's see how do we manage it. A pedophile must be treated as a pedophile, and those that have been caught have been suspended. We are dealing with their cases as we speak. And I've said to the department, this thing of having endless processes of cases must come to an end.
Yeah.
We want to deal with cases expeditiously. And I said each and every case at least must take the maximum of 90 days to be completed, so that we send a clear message. But we are also saying to parents, JJ, when a teacher has impregnated a child or has slept with a child, and the child is under a consenting age, don't allow the teacher or a family of that teacher to come and say, no, we're going to pay damages, give you a cow or a goat.
Because it's a criminal matter.
Open a criminal case. And we are happy that we're starting to see parents now even opening...
That's happening now.
Yes, it's happening now, opening criminal case. So we're going to deal with them within the system, but we'll support also parents to pursue the criminal cases.
Absolutely. Sounds like it's something that is needed, it's sorely needed. And this is linked to the South. I still want to come to the SADC question. After the break, I want you to pointedly tell me, what's the relationship with SADC in terms of the things that they've put on your table? We've seen in other provinces where strikes happen. I mean, in the Eastern Cape, I think a strike before even classes opened, there was a strike because they were arguing about issues of temporary teachers vis-a-vis full-time teachers. And I want to understand whether in KZN we have those difficulties and how you are resolving those. We are rounding off our frank talk now with the MEC for Education in KZN. When we come back, we finish off that conversation.